Alright, hey y'all, and I'm back with another color. This here is a free page from that I downloaded from Tropical World. Millie Murata, I believe her name is, from Tropical Wonderland. It's the toucan. And so that's what we're going to do today because I needed a break from the other picture we were working on. Alright, so let's get started. I got my colors picked out. These are all the colors I'm thinking about using. Again, these are my pencils that don't have names of color written on them. But that's alright for this color here. So I'm going to take this reddish color and we're going to work on this beak here. I hope y'all can see that. Make sure I'm in frame here. And we're just going to pull this color up a little bit. All right, that's looking good. You know how sometimes YouTube give you recommended videos. And I had one recommended video that I don't know how I got on that video. And it was talking about how the world is flat. And it talked about the world is flat society. And, you know, all this other stuff. And it's several people, like, you know, high profile people, business people, you know, college educated people who believe that the world is flat and that NASA is lying about, you know, everything. I'm not going to say they're wrong. I'm not going to say they're right. I'm just wondering how it got on my recommend feed. And, you know, I don't discount anyone's, you know, opinions, because to say you know something absolute, well, I don't do that. I try not to do that too much. I did when I was younger, you know. I like to think I knew everything, but, you know, as you get older, you should grow out of that and realize that there are some things that you don't know. Let's see. It made that look like, well, it is. Okay. I will say this, and this is why another reason why I don't discount these people is because at the end of the day, you don't know if you're being lied to. You go on what other people tell you. Now, do I believe the world is flat? I do not. However, I could be wrong. We could all be wrong. Who knows? I forget the name of this scientist, but he was making waves because he did a experiment. I was working on an experiment where he came up with the theory that the universe, okay, so in his theory, if I'm remembering correctly, the world is round, or spherical, and everything, and the planets and all of that. But the universe itself is hologram, a 3D, not a 3D, I think 2-dimensional, basically flat hologram. And that was an interesting thought to have. Like, makes you think about the Matrix, which is one of my favorite movies. Because even if something isn't true, it makes you think, what if? What if where, someone's computerized programs, and what is real, and or if maybe not even someone else's computer rated, maybe you're your own program that you don't know. That your own program. You may be in a coma somewhere having this whole life experience that you think you're having, but you're really, somewhere in a coma somewhere, and it's only been 3 months, and you've lived your whole life thinking. Because when you have a dream, if you really think about your dream, time isn't really time in your dream. I don't know if any of you ever pay attention to your dreams, but I know for me, there's no time in my dreams. Whatever happens in my dreams happens in my dreams. I can have a whole dream where I lived my whole life and in the dream I done gone from childhood to past the age I am now. And the only reason I know it's a dream is because I'm a lucid dreamer. Not most of the time, all the time. At some point in my dream, I know I'm dreaming, which is a handy thing to have sometimes. It's something I developed because I used to have nightmares, and I think I developed that became a lucid dreamer as a kid because of my nightmares. So I know when I'm dreaming. And I can change my dreams if I don't like what I'm dreaming. I just say I don't like this and decide to dream about something else. But anyway, like I was saying, your dreams don't really have a sense of time. So if you think about it that way, you could just be living your lifetime in a perpetual dream state, and you would never know it, because for you, this is your life, right? I know y'all like, what is this lady talking about? Random thoughts, y'all, random thoughts. Alright, so that was an orange and a red and an orangey red that we just used. That orangey red didn't really pick up too well. I wanted a little more of a faded effect. But these pencils sometimes don't layer well. Some of them don't layer well, so it is what it is with that. Alright, I'm going to work on this here. Two cans are mostly black, and I really didn't want to do that, but I do want to kind of keep it somewhat like a regular toucan, so I'm going to have to kind of, well, not have to. I really wouldn't have to, but I would rather stick to what it should look like. So we'll work with it. So this area here is usually yellow, but I'm gonna bring it down and make these things here yellow. I'll probably make this black and these little round things black. But I'll do those last because that's a lot of black to just be putting on this camera like that. Ooh, excuse. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting thought, and it made me think about, you know, things like that. My favorite, and I know I talked several times on my other videos about TV shows and movies, but my favorite channels are the Science Channel, the History Channel, and the Discovery Channel. They're my favorite channels. If there's nothing else on that I want to watch, those are my go-to channels for the most part, as long as they have a something to do with history. Well, I can't say something to do with history because the History Channel technically has things to do with history, but I like more of the, I guess, documentaries they have. Like, I don't like Pawn Stars. I tried to watch it. I'm not feeling it. I don't watch that. I don't watch that show or the show where the two guys go driving around, going to people houses and barns and stuff looking for stuff. I don't do that. I don't like that those shows. So I don't watch those. But if they have on the History Channel, if they have, like they had what's the name of that? Ancients Behaving Badly. You know, shows like that I'll watch. The story, biblical stories, like is Jesus real, or the history of Jesus, or the life of Moses. We found King Tut. What did he really look like? You know, things like that I will watch. As I find it interesting. And on the Science Channel, my favorite show is I don't even know if they have any new seasons. I could just be watching reruns. But How the Universe Works is my favorite show on that channel. And if y'all hear barking in the background, I have neighbors on the side of me that have a dog. I have two neighbors in the back of me, both have dogs. And the neighbor across the street has a couple of dogs. So when one dog starts barking, they all tend to start barking. And they like to bark all the time. Whenever anyone walks by, drives by, they will get to barking. So if you hear any dogs in the background, that is what that is. Because they are barking. One of them is barking right now. I think it's the one on the side of me. They have two, but only the one is barking right now. Which is surprising because it's usually the dog across the street that barks all the time. He barks, or she barks, because I don't know if it's a girl or boy, but all of the time. So yeah, those are my my favorite channels and subject matters that they do on those channels. Especially when they start talking about parallel universes and multiverses. I absolutely love those. It's weird how some of these colors don't come out well, but the yellow does. And usually yellow is hard to see on a page. You got to really put, pressure on it. But with these pencils, with this particular set, or maybe it's just this particular pencil, I don't have to put any pressure at all. Like I'm doing light pressure right now, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but as soon as you do a couple of strokes, that color comes right out. So these pencils are not consistent whatsoever. And I think I'm gonna also get these little leaves right here, since they correspond with those, you see. Excuse me. I'm drinking tea, so if you hear me swallowing and stuff, that's what that is. I'm sorry, y'all, but I'm thirsty. I get thirsty so easily. I have to drink something constantly. All right, so that's my first layer. Then I'm gonna go in here with this. I think it's a mustard color. That's what I call it. And I'm just gonna go over it a little bit. Some of these will get covered all the way, and then some of them it'll just be the edges. Add a little dimension. I might have to go in. And my camera's sitting on my case that I have these pencils in, so I may have to go in and use my crazy arts to blend out some of these colors. Maybe. I don't think I will, because I tried to pick all the colors I wanted before I did this video. But I think I'm getting the hang of this filming process. Now I know some of you are like, well, I wish you keep that page still, but I can't, because it just moving the page. That's what I told you in a different video. That's why I have it on this clipboard, so I can move it and make it easier to color. So that I'm not trying to reach and do all this type of stuff. Just move the clipboard. Yeah. So today is the end of January, and we are moving into February. Yeah. And I'm thinking I'm probably gonna do a 14 days till Valentine's Day, 13 days to Valentine's Day, something like that, maybe. where I just release a color every day. But I don't think so, because that would be a lot of coloring. And these take so long. You see, we are already 20 minutes in, and all I've done is a nose and some leaves on this body. So because I color all of the time now. It's my favorite hobby. It has replaced other hobbies as my favorite hobby since I've started. I color at work on my lunch break. I color when I get home to wind down from work. And I color on my off days, at least for an hour or two. So, I told my husband, I said, thank you for introducing me to it. And he's like, sometimes I wish I hadn't. But he's just joking. That little piece of pencil that didn't get sharpened is aggravating me. And I'll probably do another, we're going to finish this. This may take 2 parts, but we're going to finish this. And then I'm going to do another one that will probably be Mardi Gras themed, since it is Mardi Gras time. Carnival time, and with Mardi Gras, being that, Tuesday before Ash Wednesday. So I'll probably do a Mardi Gras themed color within the next, week or so, or 2 weeks. So. I'm not in New Orleans, so I don't eat King's cake. Sorry, I don't. And we don't really do too much Mardi Gras around here. But, there's our places that are having their Mardi Gras celebrations. They'll probably wait until it's get closer to Mardi Gras Day, though. Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna make sure we get this center nice and dark. Alright. Let's make sure we get up in here. My house is just creaking. That's the thing about living in an older home. It creaks all of the time. It's enough to make a little kid. The younger kid version of me would be creeped out. Alright. I like that. That's decent. I'll go back over it. So, may have to, no, my point's all right. And then, so yeah, I'll do a Mardi Gras color. And then I will do, I'm definitely going to do a Valentine color. It'd probably be a more relaxed color than some of the ones I've been doing. I know I haven't showed any of my finished pages. Like I said, I really only started coloring a couple of months ago. So I don't have many, but they're not really all simple pages. They all have multiple elements on them because I've found that I actually really like doodles. So they have lots of elements and I love that. But for my Valentine color, I'm pretty sure it'll probably just, I got a page that has like very simple hearts. And Valentine's is so fun and I can be really girly with it. So I'm thinking I might even just do a Care Bear page, which I loved as a kid. I used to sing that song all the time. Do the Care Bear countdown. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And then they came out with the Care Bear cousins. That lion was my boy. What was his name? I think his name was Braveheart or something like that. Or Courage or something. He was a cocky little something. Brave, or did he have a trophy on his stomach? Well, whatever it was, but I liked him. He was my boy. And then on the regular Care Bears, I liked. My family knows how I am about certain things. They couldn't even believe I liked the Care Bears because of, I have a tendency to like the villain in things. So I didn't like the villain on the Care Bears, but I liked the gloomy one, the one that had the rain cloud on his stomach, and which is funny because I didn't like the gloomy one, the gloomy Smurf, because I like I watched the Smurfs too. I was a kid. I watched all those cartoons. I don't know, kids nowadays are into other things, but I watched cartoons and I watched all of them. And I could tell you tons of kids' cartoons from back in the day. But I watched the Smurfs, and I didn't. The gloomy one that I was always complaining wasn't my favorite on the Smurfs. I did like Smurfette because she was a girl, but my favorite Smurf was Papa Smurf. I had a Papa Smurf doll. He was my favorite. So I don't always like the grumpy one or the mean one or the villain. But a lot of times I don't necessarily like the villain. I just don't like who I'm supposed to like, Like I give you an example with Snow White. I didn't feel the least bit sad for her. And I know that may sound mean. But I didn't, even as a kid, I never understood the story. She goes into the woods and meets 7 men, little people, and just goes and stays with them in the woods in the middle of nowhere. Okay, suspect. And then, old lady come knocking on the door with some apples. And she eats the apple. Like, hello? You don't know this lady? She coming out, you in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere, and here comes an old lady. Well, I shouldn't keep on putting emphasis on old lady, because she could have been young, and it still wouldn't make sense. But here you're a random person come knocking on your door, and you're living in the middle of nowhere, and she gives you an apple, and you eat it. I mean, hello? She could have gave you anything. And then you pass out, and now I'm supposed to feel bad for you. Now, I'm the kid, me, it's like, well, you just took something from a stranger. And the adult version of me is like, you done took something from a stranger. So, I never really felt, that bad for her. I mean, eating random apples from random people. And then you have Cinderella, who's staying with the stepmother, right? Because the father died and left all his stuff to his wife, which is messed up. But whatever. He did that right there wasn't cool. But okay. He left all his stuff to his wife. All right. But then Cinderella, she's running around. Oh, yes, stepmother. Yes, stepmother. Got her doing everything. She got to lay hand and foot on stepsisters in her daddy's house. Okay. And then she ends up going to the ball when she gets this, magical dress and pumpkin carriage from the fairy godmother. All right. And I know magic supposed to have limits, but I think that's messed up. You give this girl a dress and this dang carriage and then tell her to be home by midnight before all her crap go away. All right. But I'll go with that. Hey, she got a curfew. That's how I'll roll with that. Okay, so she goes to the ball. She meets the prince, and he's all, oh, this is the one for me, because I think he wasn't even really looking for a wife. He was forced into trying to look for a wife, because that was the thing you supposed to do. You supposed to get married, and so you can start working on them heirs to keep your kingdom. Okay. So now you gonna tell me, now this what gets me, and I know I'm rambling, but y'all just roll with me. So this what gets me, okay? You telling me that you done been so used to Cinderella and them raggedy ass clothes that you can't recognize her just because she got on a decent dress? You don't know that Cinderella. You've been living with her for who knows how long. They never really say how long he was married to the stepmother. But you've been bossing her around, telling her get this, get that, make me a dress this, do this and that. But you can't recognize her because she got her hair done in a fancy dress on. Okay. Whatever. So then midnight comes. She got to run out. She leaves the shoe. She can't go back because she don't want him to see the dress about to disappear. And that carriage about to turn back into a pumpkin. And that horse is really a rat. and the driver is a rat. She don't want to get found out. All right, I'm still rolling with you. I'm really not, but let's just say I am. I'm rolling with you. Okay, so he's like, okay, I need to find this girl. Woo. She was beautiful. I don't know what kind of conversation they had because they didn't. When they did the movie, they wasn't really talking. So I don't know how he knew he was in love with her, but whatever. Maybe he felt something in his heart. His world shook. I don't know. Anyway, he goes and he fits the shoe, and now he's gonna travel the kingdom looking for the girl that fits this shoe. So you gonna tell me that everybody in this kingdom, now they never said this slipper size. Okay, so so anyway, goes to the kingdom with this slipper. The woman that fits the slipper must be the same woman. So you gonna tell me everybody in this kingdom, nobody got the same size foot as Cinderella? All right, I'm still gonna roll with you. Maybe the shoe was molded to fit every nook and cranny of her foot. It didn't look like it, but let's just say that was the case. All right. So he gets there, and the stepsisters and stuff can't fit the shoe. Finally, Cinderella fits the shoe. They get married. Now this is where made me upset with the story is, what's my time? Okay. So what made me upset with the story is, she was old enough to get married. Then why didn't she just get married in the first place and leave the house? If she was old enough, if she didn't want it, I know this is the time where you couldn't really live on your own and you was supposed to get married and da-da-da. But forget all that. If they treating you like crap, you should have just got gone. That's all I'm saying. So I'm like, well, you telling me the whole time she could have been married and out the house and she chose to stay with them? Okay. So I really didn't have too much sympathy for her. I mean, some of these little stories, and now I know that the original was a little darker than that. Well, not a little darker. Some of them was a lot darker. But I'm talking about the Disney versions of these stories. And we supposed to all feel, oh, well, she found love at last, and whatever. Why was she letting them bully her around is what I don't understand. And then just all the other stuff that was going on in the story, this was like, I'm like, wait a minute. You telling me nobody could fit that slipper? Not nobody in the whole kingdom could fit that slipper. But Cinderella. And then they live happily ever after. Oh. Really wasn't my type of stories as a kid. I just was like, oh, what else we got to read? This here is not working for me. I don't know. That's just was just random to me. Now some kid stories I didn't, analyze as much when I like Little Red Riding Hood. I wasn't really, you know, too harsh on that. I mean, why was she running around the woods by herself? Yeah, but then again, they never said how old she was. But I'm thinking she's a kid going to a grandma's house. But whatever, kids wrong. You out in the middle of the evening, maybe you think you know she know the area. You know if it got wolves and stuff, why you got your kid and walking to grandma's in the first place? But whatever. I let that. I let that one go. That's a decent one. It don't take up much time, But they all kind of, the rest of them just seem just too much for me to handle. Hansel and Gretel, that's another one. Because didn't they go to the witch house, right? And they get caught by the witch. Her house made of candy. And they get caught because they start eating this chick's house. Now, first of all, maybe they were hungry. But you in the forest, you tell me there wasn't any berries you could have snacked on your way while you was lost up in there? And you gonna go to a random person's house and start eating on their house? Okay. It's like, okay, well, you kind of deserved it, You lucky you was able to get away. I don't know, y'all. I used to make my mother so not upset, but she would just be like, just read the story. Why you got to think so hard about it? I'm like, it just don't make sense. That's why. You trying to tell me to believe something, then make it so I can believe it. Or not just believe it, but it made me feel like some empathy for the person. I mean, I just didn't. And I know most of these little stories are supposed to give you like little life lessons. I get it. Well, not even life lessons, because there's no life lesson in Cinderella. I don't think. I mean, it may be in Snow White. I can make a good one for Snow White, in that the moral of the story is don't eat apples from strange people. That's the moral of that story. Somebody offer you an apple, don't eat it. You're like, thank you. And close the door. And toss that in the trash. First of all, she shouldn't even open the door. Okay, that's one, because you're in the middle of the woods, so you shouldn't have even opened the door. It wasn't your house to begin with, but maybe they said make yourself feel at home, whatever. But she shouldn't open the house, the door. She didn't know who she was. I get the purpose of Snow White's whole storyline is that she was supposed to be so sweet and innocent and naive. I done went outside the line. Oh, sweet and innocent and naive and stuff, but which is another thing with these little Disney stories. It's all about women and getting rescued. By the hero of the day, the prince and all that. My thing is why. And that's what have y'all ever seen Once Upon a Time the show? And I stopped watching it. I'm gonna be honest. I stopped watching it. It kind of deviated from what it started out to be. And I'll probably at some point go back and finish this series out and everything. But I liked how it started. And I liked the storyline that they gave, the evil queen. And that she just became bitter. And Snow White, thinking she just know everything, ruined some chances for her, and she couldn't forgive, She just was like, no, I'm off that. And since I can't have what I want, nobody gonna have what they want. I'm gonna make everybody suffer. I think a lot of people are like that in real life. And the show started off real good. I like that show. They had some different twists on it, on how they made the characters. But then, like I said, they deviated, and now it's not anywhere near what it had started out to be. Which, they couldn't keep on that same path anyway, because sooner or later they would have ran out of the storyline if they had kept going that way. But they could have still, every now and then, explored it that way, And Grimm was that way too, which was one of my favorite shows, and I'm, was so upset when that ended, because that was just a really great show. I wasn't feeling the Juliet character, and I don't think a lot of people were, but I don't think of all the shows, I felt like that show had time to still Had a lot of storyline left in it. So I really don't understand why they pulled it. I was very sad on that. I don't understand these TV executives and the decisions that they make on what they decide to keep on the air and what they end up pulling. But whatever. Yeah. It's why I color and why I watch what I watch, because there's not much on TV. It's getting better, but for a while there was the only thing you could watch was reality shows, and I'm just not feeling those reality shows. I know it's cheaper for them to make, but I'd rather have regular television and some fun shows to watch. Not just all the serious, like cop shows seem to be coming back with the 911, and Criminal Minds is still going, even though I don't watch that anymore. They lost Hodge. When Hodge left, that was just the end for me. I already wasn't feeling it without Shamar Moore because of his relationship with Reed and Penelope. But then when Hodge left, I was just like, okay, I'm over it. So I haven't watched that show since. It's just not the same. So, and that was out the picture. Hold on.